It was a quiet night. Sarah sat alone in her small living room, the clock ticking softly on the wall. She was reading a book, trying to ignore the eerie silence that seemed to press in on her from all sides. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. It was strange, no one ever visited her this late. Sarah hesitated, feeling a shiver run down her spine. Slowly, she put her book aside and walked to the door. "Who is it?" she called out, but there was no reply. The knock came again, louder this time. Against her better judgment, she reached for the doorknob and opened the door just a crack. Outside, in the dim light of the porch, stood a man. His face was hidden under a dark hood, and his hands were tucked into his pockets. "Can I help you?" Sarah asked, her voice trembling slightly. The man didn't answer. Instead, he tilted his head as if studying her. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest. Something was very wrong. "Please, leave," she said, trying to close the door. But before she could, the man stepped forward, pushing the door open wide. Sarah stumbled back, her fear turning to panic. The man stepped into the light, revealing a twisted, unnatural smile. His eyes were empty, hollow, as if all life had been drained from them. "Who are you?" Sarah gasped, backing away further. The man took another step closer. "You invited me in," he whispered, his voice like a cold breeze. "I'm here to stay." Sarah turned and ran, her breath coming in short, terrified gasps. She could hear the man's footsteps behind her, slow and deliberate. She reached her bedroom, slamming the door shut and locking it. Her hands shook as she grabbed her phone, dialing 911. But when she looked up, her blood turned to ice. The man was already in the room, standing in the corner, his smile widening. The lights flickered, then went out, plunging the room into darkness. In the silence, Sarah could only hear her own heartbeat. And then, the man's voice, closer now, whispered in her ear, "You can never escape." The next morning, the house was quiet once more. The door stood wide open, the wind blowing gently through it. Inside, the living room was empty, save for a book lying on the floor, its pages slowly turning in the breeze.